Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. The preparation for this video has definitely been the longest out of any other video, and that's just because we are covering so many different types of deodorants today. I feel like at this point you're probably guaranteed to find one out of this bunch that will work for you. I'm literally starting from the very beginning of trying natural deodorants, which was about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. I didn't really know I was gonna make this video, so a few times I repurchased deodorants and stuff, so maybe it's not as much as you would expect, but I have a ton of deodorants to go over today. Some of them I actually have in person and others I'm just gonna show a picture of because I tried them like a year and a half ago and I didn't save them. I do want to start off this video with a little disclaimer. Deodorant I think is even more personal than makeup. It's one thing to be giving suggestions on what makeup you think works well. That maybe can be a little bit more universal, but deodorant, you unfortunately go through the trial and error of yourself. Now I can help you with finding textures, I can help you with how it works on me, but I really can't say how it's going to perform on you. In fact, a lot of them that I have today either didn't work for someone else, so they gave them to me and they worked on me, or it didn't work on me, so I ended up giving them to someone else. So it really is just finding whatever works with your own body chemistry, which is why giving suggestions on deodorant can be a little bit difficult. But I hope at the very least today I'm introducing you to some new brands, some new textures, new prices, all of that stuff. So without further ado, because we have so much to cover, let's jump in. Okay, starting from the very top is this Schmidts deodorant stick. Now I personally enjoy the fragrance-free one, but I had finished that and didn't save it. So I have a lot of different scents that I'm actually starting to use now because I'm finishing up another deodorant. Anyway, long story. Schmidts natural deodorant for me is most similar to a conventional deodorant. It's a stick deodorant. You open it up and you roll it on just like you would a Secret or a Dove or anything like that. They retail for around $7 to $8 depending on where you buy them. Oftentimes if you go to Marshall's or TJ Maxx, they will actually have Schmidts products on sale. Now I prefer the stick deodorant. I just think it's a little bit less messy, but they do make a cream deodorant as well. The unscented one doesn't have any baking soda in it, so it's great for sensitive skin, but the scented ones do have baking soda in it, so that's something to be aware of. In terms of actually finding this product, like I said, it's available at some TJ Maxx's on discount. It's also very widely available at Whole Foods, health food stores, so I give this one an A rating in terms of just being able to find it. In fact, the reason that I first got into Schmidts was because I was on a trip and I ran out of my deodorant, and so I needed to go to a store and get it, and I knew I wanted natural deodorant, so I just went to Whole Foods to see what they had, and that's where I found Schmidts. So it's very easy to find. I really like how this one applies. I don't get any of that white crumbly stuff under my armpits, and for me, Schmidts is super effective. It's probably the most effective stick deodorant that I've tried. It doesn't help in terms of perspiration. Probably none of these will. There's actual chemical compounds in a deodorant that make it an antiperspirant, and going natural means you are getting rid of those chemicals, so it's okay to have a little bit of wetness underneath it. I mean, I'm not a profuse sweater by any means, so I can't speak to someone who sweats a lot, but I definitely don't notice any increase in wetness under my arms with this, and I feel like it really manages odor. The next deodorant is from a brand called North Coast Organics, and it's their Killer Lavender deodorant. This retails for about $9 to $10 depending on where you buy it. Again, it's available at Whole Foods. However, I've never seen it at any other store, so for that reason, it is sort of a specialty product, but Whole Foods should carry it. This has a lavender scent to it, which is really nice. It's a mild lavender scent. The deodorant is in a stick form again, which makes it feel like a traditional deodorant, and when you actually apply it, the deodorant almost turns into an oil on your skin. Now, the deodorant itself is a yellowy tone, and unfortunately for me, the yellowy tone under my armpits stained my clothing, so I still have stains in a lot of the clothes that I use. Now, I could definitely wear this deodorant and use vinegar under my armpits on the clothes, not actually on your armpits, but if you're washing your clothes, you can put a little bit of vinegar or baking soda and try and get that pigment out. out. However, for me, yellow, any sort of yellow tint under white doesn't read well for me. I just think it looks like BO stains and kind of gross. So I actually stopped using this one before even being able to recognize whether or not it worked for me, just because I was so discouraged by the stain. So I can't speak to how effective it was. It did smell good. I didn't notice any extra perspiration for sure, but the staining was really, really frustrating. And the last little detail about this one is that it does have baking soda in it. So if you have sensitive armpits, that's something to keep in mind. Okay, the next one that I tried is the Ursa Major or Ursa Major, I'm not really sure how you pronounce it, Hop-In Fresh deodorant. This one also has baking soda in it, although they do have a no BS deodorant, which I believe doesn't have baking soda in it and is for more sensitive skin types. This one actually comes in 2 sizes, so you can buy a smaller one that's about $12 and you can buy a larger one that's $18. I've only personally bought the large one. I used this for a long period of time. In fact, I actually continued to repurchase it. I liked the way that the applicator is. It's a round applicator on the top, so it's really smooth to apply under your armpits. However, I did know that this one, it's very easy to apply too much and then you get those rolly balls underneath your armpits, which can look kind of weird if you raise your hand or if you're wearing a sleeveless top or anything like that. The scent for me was really fresh and I really liked it. I definitely noticed that it helped with odor control, but I think I'd repurchased it twice, and that was during winter months. And then I had it during the summer for a brief period of time, and it actually, combined with the heat, really irritated my armpits. I'm not really sure whether it was the baking soda or maybe my skin was just tired of this formula. I can't really speak to it, but I know that I ended up with almost like rashes underneath my armpits, and that's when I had to stop using it. And that's actually when I bought the Schmidts unscented deodorant for the first time, and that's when I noticed a big difference. The Schmidts, I never got any sort of rash, and the Hop-In Fresh one I did, which was really unfortunate. So it was great for those cooler months, but definitely when the heat came, it just didn't work for my body. I've also tried my fair share of Tom's deodorants. Tom's of Maine is a brand that you can find in a wide variety of places, whereas the Hop-In Fresh one, I've only really seen at specialty stores like Credo or the Detox Market. Tom's you can really find at Whole Foods, at CVS, at drugstores. It's really great that it's so widely available. It's also very affordable. One of the Tom's deodorant that I've tried that I feel like is worth sharing with you guys is the unscented, natural, long-lasting deodorant. And this is a really interesting texture, which will sort of segue into the deodorants I'm going to share afterwards. It's almost like a gel, so it's in a stick format, but it's a clear gel that you can actually apply to your skin, and it feels quite cooling. So this one is nice for warmer months. If you have sensitive armpits, it can feel really good. I will say you sort of get what you pay for with this. It's not the best deodorant that I've tried. It's also shockingly not the worst. For me, it worked to some extent where I felt like for most of the day I didn't notice any odor, but by the end of the day I definitely was noticing an odor. So either reapplying is a must or being able to wipe down your armpits and put some more on if you're wanting that really long lasting protection. But for me, this wasn't the best one that I've tried. This one doesn't have baking soda in it, so again, if you have sensitive armpits, this is something to try. And like I said, that cooling factor, because it is a clear gel that you're applying, is really nice. That also means that it's not going to transfer onto any clothes. I know even with some of the white deodorants I've tried, I've seen that chalkiness go onto the armpits of my clothing. So this one's guaranteed there's not going to be any sort of marking on your underarms or your clothes or anything like that. So maybe if you're wearing a black dress out to dinner or something, this would be a great deodorant to try on so that when you slip over the black dress, you don't get any markings on it. The next 3 deodorants that I'm going to share with you guys are all really unique textures that I really like, but unfortunately the deodorants didn't work for me. So the first one I actually just took out of Jared's bathroom drawer, and that is the Vapor Organic Beauty AER Next Level deodorant in the Palo Santo and Blood Orange scent. This has baking soda in it. It is a whopping $24 and everyone loves it, which I think speaks to this deodorant. I think it works for a ton of people. For me, I've talked about this before. I did a full review on it, so I'll link that somewhere where you guys can check it out. Unfortunately for me, this just didn't work. It worked for most of the day, but definitely by the end of the day, I was smelling myself, and the next morning I would wake up and I'd have a very strong odor, like worse than I felt like was my personal body odor. It was almost enhanced, unfortunately. So I'm not really sure what that was about, but it's definitely just this deodorant because I've never had that happen before and I've never woken up smelling that way. That being said, this is an incredible texture. This is something that you don't really see in the natural deodorant world. It's usually usually just a stick or an oil or a cream, and this is somewhere in between. It's very, very lightweight, and if you're used to traditional deodorants, especially sort of fun packaging and cute scents, then I think this is a great place to start and to try. This works for Jared, which is my boyfriend. This works for a lot of other people. I know so many people are fans of this. It just didn't work for me, so I almost wish that you could get a sample of this, which actually you might be able to on their website. Get a sample of it, try it out, see if it works, and if it does, then it's worth the investment because the texture is so unique. But if it doesn't, then don't beat yourself up about it and try one of these other suggestions. Again, this one is a little bit trickier to find. It is a specialty deodorant. You have to go to a specific store. I know that Free People, the clothing brand, actually carries Vapor Organic Beauty, so my guess is they would carry this as well. Also, Pharmaca might have this because they carry Vapor Beauty. But those are sort of like the big chain ones that carry it. Otherwise, you would need to go to like a Credo or vapororganicbeauty.com itself, Detox Market, Aaliyah Beauty, places like that, so specialty stores, and you'd be able to find it. The next two deodorants, like I said, are a very similar texture, and they're actually from the same brand. I just have the unscented version and I have the scented version. So this is the Type A deodorants. These are very new to the market. They're very innovative packaging that I really appreciate, and I really, really like the packaging actually. It's kind of fun to use. It has this almost rubbery top to it, which makes application very, very comfortable. These both retail for $10 and they're a very, very similar texture to the Vapor Organic Beauty one. If you're not ready to make the investment in the AER deodorant from Vapor Beauty, definitely check these out because they're very similar. Again, very, very lightweight. The unscented is called the Minimalist, and then the scented is the Visionary, and it says it has a clean, crisp citron scent. Personally, for me, I don't really get citrus from this. I get a little bit of citrus, but I feel like I also get some herbs or spices or something different. So these are, again, something that you would need to pick up at a specialty store right now. This brand is not carried widely across like big chain brands, but it is at Credo for sure. Just blanket statement, I always link everything down below. So if any of this interests you, that's where you can go to check out these links. For me, as much as I loved the texture, the Minimalist, which is the unscented one, didn't work for me. By the end of the day, I was smelling not as strongly, surprisingly, as the Vapor Organic Beauty one, but I definitely did smell myself and I felt like application was a must. The Visionary I actually felt like worked better on me. I just didn't really like the scent. So I'd be curious to see if they have other scents that come out and maybe I would enjoy that. This one, it didn't vibe with me. It didn't vibe with my body chemistry and I just didn't really like the way I smelled with it. But again, the texture and the actual application is really cool in these two and I was really excited to get to try these out. All right, if you guys have made it this far, I really appreciate you watching. I know that this is a long video, but hopefully it's helpful because I know it can be so challenging to figure out what deodorants to even start looking at. We have 3 more deodorants to go through quickly. I think a lot of you will have seen this brand at Whole Foods or at Sephora. I actually saw it at Sephora and this was probably the first deodorant that I bought in the natural-ish realm. It has baking soda in it and it retails for about $14 depending on where you buy it from, and that is the La Vanilla, the healthy deodorant, and I had it in the scent Pure Lavender. This is a lot like the Hop and Fresh deodorant in terms of packaging. It has that roller top to it, so it is comfortable to get into your armpits and feels very smooth upon application. I didn't love the way this one performed. I didn't feel like it was that great, and I definitely got a lot of white balls underneath my armpits, which maybe I was just applying too much, but I found really frustrating. And I also found that the actual deodorant itself is quite dry between applications, so it can take some time to actually warm it up and use it. But like I said, this is another one that's relatively easy to find. I don't think it's by any means the cleanest on the market, but I also think it's a lot better than conventional deodorant. The next one is a texture that I had never even tried out in the conventional world, and that is a spray or an oil. This is not an aerosol spray, so it's not sort of like those Dove cans that you can use. This is just a spray of an oil. This is the Ledo Wild Rose deodorant. It's supposed to be 24 hours and long lasting. It retails for about $12 to $14. They also sell a travel size version of this, so you don't have to carry around this glass container with you all the time, although I kind of love that it's in glass. As you guys can see, I've used a ton of this. This is actually the one that I'm currently using right now and the one that I go back to in between trying different ones. If I don't like something, then I'll go back back to this and then I'll look around to see if I should try something else. It doesn't have any baking soda in it, but it does have alcohol and you can sort of smell it when you spray it. That's the one thing that's a little bit weird, is the alcohol smell that initially goes onto your skin, but it dissipates very, very quickly. This is pretty easy to find. Find it at Whole Foods, you can find it on Amazon. Not necessarily a specialty deodorant. And for me personally, this is the best deodorant that I've found that works for me. So this and the Schmidts are my two top deodorants. They're obviously very different formulas. The Schmidts is more traditional. It's a stick formula and it just keeps everything in check. I don't smell bad. It's easy to carry around with me. And this one is an oil. Again, this one lasts a long time. I don't wake up smelling bad. I feel like I don't even need to really spray it all the time. This is gross to say, but I could probably go like 2 days without spraying this and I feel like I still smell fine and fresh. Not that I usually do that, but that's just what I could do. The one thing is the spray is like a little bit awkward to get used to, and I actually find that it works better if you spray while you have clothes on, just so it doesn't like all go into the air. But I really like this. I think it's really lightweight. It doesn't feel heavy on your skin. Obviously, it's a major difference between chalky or stick deodorants is that an oil deodorant, especially spray like this, it's going to be very light and it feels so, so good for summer. So I'm really happy that I discovered this and I know this is one that I'll continue to go back to. So I'm going to finish up with actually few deodorants that I haven't tried yet. They're all the same. This is from the brand Green Tydings and they were kind enough to send them to me. A 3-pack is about $38, but obviously you don't need to buy a 3-pack. These are supposedly award-winning deodorants, so I'm really excited to try them. I have it in lavender, unscented, and in the sensitive skin formula. So I'm really excited to try these. I would love to know what you guys think of them if you have tried them before. Again, these have a bit of a yellow cast to the actual deodorant, so I'm a tiny bit worried about staining. So if you guys can give me a heads up, then I know I can try them out with black clothes or something like that. So these I'm excited to find. These are specialty. I haven't seen them carried anywhere locally around me, but they're certainly available on their website, so I will link them there. And I'll keep you guys posted with how I like these. A few words of advice when it comes to trying out natural deodorant. Never apply right after shaving. Give yourself some time. When you shave, you're taking off that first protective layer of skin, and your skin is a lot more sensitive, especially after a shower when all of your pores are open. Your skin is very hot, so just don't put on deodorant right after you get out. Put on body lotion, relax a little bit, and then spray or apply your deodorant. I realized this was an incredibly long video with a lot of information in it, so if there are any questions or if you missed something, just ask me down in the comments below and I'll be sure to answer them for you. Finding a good natural deodorant is so tough and takes a lot of time, so I hope this helped just sort a little bit of what I've been interested in and what I've been trying and how they actually perform and what they're actually like. I'd love to know if you have a deodorant that I didn't mention that's definitely worth trying. I feel like everyone would love to know, so make sure to leave a comment with that. Otherwise, I hope this video was helpful. I'm super excited to be sharing all these deodorants with you, and everything is linked down below. As always, thank you so, so much for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button for videos always featuring clean green beauty, and hit that little bell button too so you're notified every time I post. I feel like every person on YouTube is talking about this, but it'll actually hide my content from you if you don't regularly interact, like leave comments or like or whatever. So if you don't want to miss anything, then just hit that little bell and then you'll be sure to be notified every time I post. Okay guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night or whenever you're watching, and I will see you all very soon. Bye!